Hey y'all, welcome to Crystal's Den. I'm Crystal and I'm so happy you're here with me today. Okay, thank you to those who watched my air fried okra video. I really appreciate it. Welcome to new subscribers. I'm glad you're here. Thank you all for your patience. I know it's been a little bit since I've put out a long form video and even really some short ones. I'm just adjusting to a lot of things right now in life. But yeah, thank you for your patience and I really appreciate it. Okay, so as you all may have seen, I had been posting some shorts, YouTube shorts, kind of showing like just different information about compost and composting. So I kind of explained like, you know, what compost is and the importance, and then I showed like what you can compost, our green material, so our nitrogen rich material, our brown material, so our carbon rich material, and then what not to compost. And a lot of things, many things can be composted. Pretty much everything can, but what not to compost if you're just doing a backyard one. For today, I just wanted to show you all how I built my pile and maybe just give you some like inspiration to get started with composting. And yeah, so let's get into it. Oh, and if you're like, oh my god, I'm coming in new, what exactly is composting? Below, I've posted the shorts that I made kind of explaining compost, what can be compost, what can't, all that good stuff. And then I also posted a compost video that I did like way back when I first started. Well, not way back, I don't think it's been a year yet. But when my first video was composting. So I posted the first one, which is a really good one that kind of like explains what it is, explains the benefits, how I got into it, and then what you can and cannot compost. So watch those for reference, just in case you're coming in like new and you're like, oh my god, like I this is great, I want to see this, but what exactly am I doing? So they are below for you to watch. Okay, so if you see behind me, I have 3 pallets kind of just like leaned up against each other. You can definitely like screw them together if you have those materials and stuff, but mine, I'm just kind of leaning them and hoping that they stay and the wind doesn't blow them away. But yeah, I'm using that as kind of a like space to hold the compost. I have one more pallet that I will be using to kind of close it up, and that'll be like where I have my pile. So make sure your pallets, if you are using pallets, say HT. Okay, HT. That means it's heat treated and not chemically treated, so it's okay to use for your compost pile. You don't want to use one that's been chemically treated because you don't want to get those chemicals in your pile. So make sure it says HT for heat treated pallets. Alrighty, so for my pile, I have some twigs from this tree that I'm going to be using at the bottom of the pile to provide aeration. So remember, for our compost, we need a key ingredient to our compost is air, oxygen, and so having the twigs at the bottom will provide some natural airflow to the pile. Next, I have some kind of, at this point, old grass clippings. I put some leaves that I tore off of these branches on top of there to get some more green, but yeah, the grass clippings are from like a couple days ago when I mowed, but it still has some nitrogen in it, so that will be my green source along with these leaves. I'm also going to be using some cow manure and scraps from kitchen scraps as my green material as well. Remember, our green materials are our nitrogen rich materials and our more wetter materials. For my browns, I'm going to be using some wood chips and leaves. As you can see, they both look really wet. It's because we got some rain, but they still are filled with the carbon that I need to mix in with the nitrogen rich material, so they're going to serve a great purpose there. So yeah, let's go ahead and put all this together. My first layer of the pile is going to be the dead leaves, aka my brown material. This is going to serve as a nice base, and we want to put the browns first before we put the greens. Now I'm adding my second layer, which is going to be my green material, aka my nitrogen rich material. Again, I am using almost fresh grass clippings and fresh leaves from the tree. These are going to be a great nitrogen source and my second layer of the pile. I have my indoor food scraps to throw in. So since I have like this bread in here, I really want to make sure that I cover this up with some brown material to kind of really keep any pests away. I'm going to start with adding another layer of the grass clippings. Since they're kind of turning brown, they're becoming brown material. So they'll soon be a good carbon source as well. And then I'm going to follow up and cover up with the wood chips to really kind of seal everything in. I'm doing a couple things here. I'm adding in more nitrogen, aka the grass clippings and the fresh leaves, but I'm also adding in some later things that'll be carbon. The grass clippings and the leaves are going to turn brown soon, and they'll become carbon material. So that's kind of sealing in the food and covering it up so that the bugs and so that the critters, we want the bugs, so the critters don't come and mess with the pile. So this is my hot compost pile where I was doing hot compost. I got my pile up to temperatures of about 120 to 130, and the highest I ever got was 140. So this is actually compost that is ready. But there are still a lot of big like wood chip pieces that take a long time to break down that need to basically be put in a compost. So I'm going to add these to my pile over here to kind of inoculate it, or in other words, just add in some of the microorganisms from this pile to that one to kind of help jumpstart it. Alrighty, I've added that nice layer of compost from the old pile to this new pile, so that should really kind of help get things started and geared up and get them microorganism, fungi, and bacteria in there eating shit up. Yay, yay. So we really want to end our pile, like top it off with some brown material. We do, especially if you're using a bunch of food scraps, you don't want that to be the last thing you add, because then like critters really will come. So I'm going to put probably like half of this bin on top of the pile so that I can get my like 3-to-1, so 3-part carbon to 1-part nitrogen ratio. So this will give me enough carbon to kind of fill that out, and just to kind of make sure that I'm covering it to keep any pests away. So I'm finishing up the pile now with my final layer of browns, which is going to be these wood chips. I mentioned this kind of late in the game, but we want about 3 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen. So about, if you want to think of it this way, 3 buckets of wood chips or leaves to every 1 bucket of grass or scraps. Wow, and there we have it. So the rest of that, my brown material, aka my wood chips, is covering the whole pile, and we have ourselves a compost pile, everybody. And there we have it, y'all. We have ourselves a nice cold compost pile. So a couple of things. This pile is cold, meaning I won't be turning it as often. It's going to be kind of static and just kind of sit. This is going to be more of an anaerobic process, or one that is without oxygen. There's still oxygen because I have those twigs underneath, but I'm not going to necessarily be turning this every day as I would a hot pile. As a reminder, turning your pile, keeping it moist, that helps in the... Sorry about these dogs, god damn it! Okay, anyway, turning the pile and keeping it moist aids in the breakdown process. But because I don't necessarily have the capacity right now to be turning it every day, I know you are going to be, you're not going to have much time, so having a cold pile like this is perfect. To continue the pile, you're just going to keep adding in your scraps and topping it off with your browns. So as I keep accumulating more scraps, I'm going to throw it in there and then throw more leaves and cardboard. Cardboard is fine. And wood chips, in my case, on top. I forgot to add the manure. It's okay. Well, it's whatever. But if you do have manure, that's always great to add. It's a really great source of nitrogen. This will probably be like the third time I'm going to say this in this video, but remember to keep adding in your brown or / carbon fill materials. When I was first composting, I didn't really add my browns, and so my stuff wasn't always breaking down as it should. The carbon and the nitrogen, when they get together, they help break each other down. So they both need each other in order to, to break down nicely. So just make sure you are adding that brown material to help keep those pests away, to keep our recipe. It's like I was talking with, I took a master composter class, and so I was able to gain a lot of great knowledge and just information about composting. It was so great. And I was talking to one of my classmates, and she was saying, composting is almost like doing magic. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've been on my witchy shit lately. Shout out to my really good friend Kai. They've been on their witchy shit too. So like we both been on that witchy shit. And I thought about how like magic, because you literally are taking these food scraps, this grass, these wood chips, these leaves, whatever material that we have that we find ourselves throwing away or just not even thinking about at all. We're putting all this together, and the earth is working with us to make into this beautiful, rich compost. So I just find that so like fascinating and inspiring and lovely, and that's just So okay, that's my little soapbox on just the beauty of composting. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video. I hope that this helps you kind of get your own compost pile started. Just remember, like, you do not have to keep turning this pile. This pile can just sit. And so for you folks out there who are super busy or don't have that much time but really want to do your earthly duty and compost, or just want to get some compost for your garden, this is like a really good way to kind of do that. And now is the time to start, so then when spring comes you have compost from stuff you've been kind of composting already. So thank you again for watching. I will be doing more compost videos. I want to make a video about like what I've been learning in my compost class. I'm also taking master gardener classes, so I want to talk about what I've been learning in there. So thank you all again for your patience and for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And definitely post any comments below. Let me know how you compost. Let me know what your composting process starts. Let me know any questions you got about composting. Just let me know. Okay, so thank you all again for watching. This has been Crystal's Den. Can't wait to grow, explore, and do the damn thing with you next time. Have a good one. Bye. Who wants to say bye? Say bye.